The mutant cells have in fact buffed my Queen Bunny, so let me show you the options that you have with these mutant cells along with the best setup to do it with. So without further ado guys, let's get right on into today's video. So this is the bunny build that you're going to want to go with. Now it's not really changed very much since my last bunny build. In fact, it's the exact same build. However, the tree does make a slight difference. You can also replace Spear and Shield in the top corner with MP Collector. So let me quickly run over why we are using the modules we are using. Now, Electric Condense is for big brain damage, Maneuvering for more slots, Conversion for more cooldown. Then for the damage modules, it is based on your preference, but the damage modules are the following as well. Amplification mod, Singular Electric Master for maxed out damage, Skill Simplification, and Spear and Shield if you do use it. If not, MP Collector is the way for you. Other than that, range modules is Expansion and Amp Control, and then HP module is HP Amp. Fairly simple way to do it. In my opinion, the correct way to do it. Now, I can see some people scratching their head, like, you know, why haven't you got any MP on here? Why haven't you got this, or why haven't you got that? With this weapon here, the Peacemaker, being my sprint stat stick with 3 sprint cores on it, you can see whenever I am holding it, I am always at maximum sprint speed, along with having really high movement speed, which is exactly what you want. Now, this is exactly what you want because, you know, you want to be moving as fast as you can with Bunny, and with this I don't need to use my second ability at all in order to do it. Now for my reactor and external components, I've gone with the hand cannon mounting because I use the Peacemakers for my sprint weapons. You could go with any other ones like the Secret Garden, so on and so forth, but I personally prefer the Peacemaker. Now skill attributes in the middle are going to be Singular and Electric, and then Singular and then Duration up on the bottom is my preference because of the way that my build works, but yeah. Next up, for the stats and components, 2 pieces of mid set and 2 pieces of plague set. Ideally you want MP recovery out of combat, MP recovery in combat, MP recovery modifier, defense on here as well, and max shield. Really, do you need it? Not really, because I don't really use MP, but it's just nicer to have it because it looks coordinated and cool, and that means you can also use it on other Descendants where MP in fact does matter. So let's go on over the arcade tuning trees then. So I'm going to present to you a little showcase of all the trees that you could use with Bunny, but these are going to be the main ones that I would recommend. Now, Electric Vulnerability and Movement Speed. This will basically allow you to get almost the same as the other tree, which will give you more damage. However, you can stay with absolutely maximum movement speed and sprint speed, which is exactly what you want with Bunny. As for the second tree, it's going to be this one over here. Now this one takes advantage of electric cohesion, and this also stacks, and then this in the bottom corner is arcade efficiency enhancement, another stackable ability. What this basically means with Bunny is that you run around using a 3 and you basically get max damage. This is the second tree and probably the one that I think most players are going to be running instead. For the fusion tree, for the condensed tree, you're going to want to run fusion in the top corner, and then you are going to want to be using that for condense, and then singular in the bottom corner to increase range. The build I use for condense isn't max range, so this does actually help me out, but that is essentially all the trees that you could be running with Bunny. So instead, let's have some look at the other parts of the setup. As for the weapons, let me quickly go on over the rest of them just before we go into some gameplay. For the weapons, this is my Sprint Peacemaker, and ideally you just want to be running Defense Master and Tactical Charge on here, just so, you know, you get more defense when you switch weapons, which will be happening fairly frequently. The second Peacemaker also runs the exact same thing on it, so nothing to change there. You're basically good to go with that front. Now for the Malevolent, this is what I use. This is a Malevolent that's basically a Purge 30 Malevolent, so you won't really have any issues with this anyways. You'll absolutely slam everything. You can go with whichever element you got. I can use it for toxic, and use it for electricity, or you could use it for fire, so on and so forth. You know, it's basically just the Malevolent. It works like a monster anyways. For my inversions with Bunny, this is what I would recommend. I would recommend running Adrenaline Rush at least as a minimum, and then I would also recommend running Biodensity Augmentation. Now for the third inversion, you can choose whatever you want. If you prefer running a Neural Focus Augmentation, if you prefer Neural Stimulation, if you prefer Probabilistic Recovery System, any one of these are completely and utterly fine. I really don't care, so it's literally any. One that I think would actually be quite good is the Circulation Tactic. It's not like you need cooldown on this build anyways, but it is nicer to have your skills cooldown, especially when you are using Electric Condense, so you know, that is a nice touch over there. Now let's actually get on into some bunny gameplay that I got last night when I was testing these builds out, so let's get right on into it. Let's start off with some 400% dungeons. I'll give you a quick rundown and then I'll let the rest of the gameplay play itself out so you can see everything that I've done, and we'll basically just leave it at that. Then we'll jump over into Sigma sector and then I'll show you that as well. Now you can see here immediately my bunny absolutely ripping everything apart. In terms of the squad, we've got a Sharon, we've got a Viesa, and we got a Freyna, and you will see this entire video that this Freyna is really struggling to keep up with me, and when Freyna does catch up to me, I just blaze right past Freyna yet again. So you can see here my bunny is just absolutely flying through everything, just sprinting everywhere with that Peacemaker. I do use Bunny's second ability just to build up the unique resource for electric condense, then I just nuke it, call it a day. Now even with this friend is ahead of me, just a simple grapple because this friend doesn't know the grapple tech, and I'm right back to being in front, so on and so forth. But you get the gist of it. Now I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay, and you guys can see how my bunny performs with everything. I'll pop back in for the boss and then we will head over to Sigma because all my homies were born and raised inside the Sigma sector. I have spawned back in, so let's quickly have a look at this boss fight. I start off with Condense and I just delete both of their HP. Fairly good chunk of damage. If I was standing closer to one or the other, I would have one-shotted either of them. But you can see, even in a squad of 4, my bunny is absolutely capable of holding her own, absolutely shredding, staying on top and controlling the lobby. The gameplay speaks for itself here. Now you can see here, just using the Malevolent, that's essentially how I deal with elites and bosses anyways. So yeah, that's essentially the main setup loop of this build. But let's have a quick look at my damage in a single dungeon, along with, as I can see, a Freyna, Viesa, and a Sharon. You can see here, I did 410 million damage. Pretty good start. Not the fastest run I've ever seen, but I will absolutely accept that. That is some pretty good damage and a pretty good run. So let's move on into the Sigma sector. Next up for Sigma sector, I'll just show you a little bit of 2 individual runs just to give you the brief idea, because I'm pretty sure you kind of already get it anyways. You can see here my bunny just jumps out for everything, one-shots everything, and absolutely deletes everything. And even with this, you just basically vibe, and the damage was already adequate enough without the mutant cell. Just getting the extra 50 to 100k to even 200-300k depending on the situation. It's just a nice touch for bunny. Like, that's literally all I can say. It's just a nice touch because everything else with bunny is just absolutely excellent. Now we're almost done with the mission anyways. I'm gonna take care of point A for my teammate. I'll have my teammates take care of point C. I'm gonna grab that B, and then I'm gonna leave them to go take on that D. So this is an effective build, and you can see here that even with this, I'm not doing the most in the team, of course, but just generally, as far as a team comp goes, this is still an insanely optimized build, with this man is just vibing for the time being. But now let's actually get back into how we are going to deal with all these bosses. Electric condense is the key, so you just run up to them, wait for them to pop out their shells, and then just boom, condense it. I was standing too close to the other one, should have been standing closer to the one with more health, but yeah, condense absolutely rocks. Now, immunity phases, you know how they go. I'll just let this little bit play out for you guys, and I'll pop back in once the bosses are dead. So Inés has definitely absolutely deleted the boss right there. So let's quickly have a run at my look at my stats from this run. Now with this run I got exactly 410 million again. So you know this is a little bit something going on over here because this has happened twice now. But in this run I was using the other tree, so I was using the cohesion tree. You can tell that even with these trees there's like basically no difference from looking at the gameplay anyways. But despite the gameplay, let's have a look at myself in another Sigma sector run. So this is the final gameplay run for this video. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, please do smash that like button, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on the first Descendant, all of that, yada yada yada. I'm gonna let this run play out in its entirety so you guys can witness the absolute peak of it. And yeah, that's essentially it. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm just blagging time because if you look at this, oh, this is just so good. With the correct placement on all of this, you can absolutely in one phase nuke all of this phase with Bunny. So I was a little bit closer, waiting for them to pull up, got in the perfect position, and just boom, nuked everything, which is exactly what you want to see. Now I'll let the rest of the run play out, and yeah, that's it from me. Have a good one, people. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.